Good evening, everyone present here. Welcome to our webinar on leveraging generative AI to empower your B2B marketing. This webinar is organized by BridgeGap. Before we begin with the webinar, let me introduce you to the speaker of the webinar today. Mr. Kaushik Mahadeshwar. He's the founder of the agency BridgeGap. There are some ground rules that let me make it very clear to you. That is, we would take few questions at the middle of the webinar and at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, you can post your questions, queries, doubts in the chat box.
Thank you, Aniket. And it's so wonderful to go live again with. It's been a month since we last did this. And to be honest, the reason why we are doing this topic is that because there is really a dearth of information around B2B digital sales. And generally, what you come across is all these product companies who are getting really aggressive with respect to their features and trying to push the products, or you get a lot of information on LinkedIn about chat gpt and the other gpt options that we have. But it was very difficult to get information with respect to if someone has to take the first steps with respect to implementing Gen AI in the B2B, in the entire B2B digital sales process, because it is not just content creation. I mean, all of us here, we know that it's a combination of identifying the right accounts, identifying the right contacts within those accounts. It is understanding when to start pitching. It is understanding which tactics is going to work. It's understanding which when should the sales team really knock on the door of the lead. It's a lot of these things, right? So and because we didn't find a lot of information, in fact, I would say we didn't get proper information on this, and we kind of figure out ourselves. We started with experimenting with a few tools. We got a few insights, some successes with respect to what we were expecting with those tools, and that's why we thought it's best to share. So feel free. I mean, Aniket has, I think his he kind of was not audible in the last few seconds, but basically feel free to ask questions at any point of time. You don't have to wait till the end of the webinar. I mean, I'm going to just time myself right away, and we'll be completing this in an hour. So ask questions at any point of time. I'll be very happy to take it, and of course, happy to connect with any of you offline with respect to more doubts. Right? Okay. So this is the main offering of BridgeGap. The digital sales team. Very quickly, I'll tell you about this before we get into the presentation. What we realized in the market is that there's really a dearth of B2B digital marketing skills. It's so B2B, it's, I think all of you would agree that it's different, right? It's way different from the typical B2C kind of digital marketing skill. And you have to be you have to know when to when you have to make the pitch to the prospect. You have to know how to research on accounts. It's really a different ball game altogether, right? And there is a dearth, and we thought it's really the right time to build a pool of resources which is trained in B2B digital marketing, and especially the latest Gen AI techniques, and offer them to B2B businesses. And this team can be like the digital sales team. And so if you come to the site, you'll see, you can literally, we have a catalog there. You can choose which of the activities or skills that you're looking for. So you can choose a combination of, say, LinkedIn marketing or social media, along with a mix of, say, creative B2B writing, depending, or your website writing, depending on what you need. And literally you will get like a summary of the cost. And so you can kind of decide there itself. And based on your needs, based on your budget, you can form your team, and you'll have complete access to this team. And it will be managed by us, so that you achieve the goals set, which in B2B is leads. It is account wins. It's those metrics, right? Okay. Let's go ahead. Okay. This is the, I mean, I think this is a very insightful slide, and it really sums up the state of affairs, in B2B marketing. The thing is this, that buyers already have a list of potential vendors in mind, before getting very vocal about it. Now let me explain. So what that means is that any most B2B buyers, right? So they do a lot of research themselves. Okay, they talk to their peers, they'll do research on Google, they'll start, I'm assuming most of you are in software, so let me just take more of IT examples. So they'll download white papers, they'll go to sites like G2, and they'll kind of research. So they already have done this before they put it out on LinkedIn, or before they start talking about it and starting doing the demos, or starting asking if anyone knows the right, asking for references. People have already kind of made their mind. 90% of the time they end up buying off from that day one list that they make. And this is very insightful, because what yeah, I mean, this is, you can see the, like, this is a slide from Gartner, which again sums up that more than, say, around half, 50% of the times people spend researching online, which means on Google. In the case of B2B, it's LinkedIn. Independent researching offline would mean talking to their peers, right? It happens a lot when it comes to software and IT. The reason, I mean, the number of searches on Google would have been a lot higher if people were not talking to their peers. People just ask for references. People go to conferences, and they kind of understand what's happening. So all of that offline researching is happening now. Just, we all know that people are spending a lot more time researching, and they have kind of already made their mind. So if you look at what is happening in typical B2B sales teams, okay, is that we are just trying to go out there and pitch to them, and knowing that, we are basically, if you're trying to just pitch to them, you're already late to the party, because these B2B buyers have already kind of made their mind. As I said, 90% of the times they have already spent time researching and talking to people, and this is without, like, this is self research. You don't need anyone's help. And especially B2B, all of the buyers are savvy, right? So they're doing this themselves. So this whole pitching thing is really out in sync. It's not in sync with the typical IT B2B buyers behavior. And this is the point. Okay, you have to, as B2B digital marketers, we have to fit into the scheme of things. We have to see where are they researching, what is it in their research which will qualify them as a good prospect, and kind of fit in that scheme of things. And if we do it early enough, you will see that this is really the recipe for being in the consideration set. Okay, so what's really the solution? This is the whole Gen AI angle here, right? Basically, trying to Gen AI is will light up the buyer's journey, right? So it will tell you specifically where you can, the right kind of accounts. So there were tools in the market, but because of Gen AI, the capabilities have really been enhanced, and that's what I want to talk about in today's session, right? So what it will do is find the right accounts, understanding, not just, when I say right accounts, accounts which match your ICP. I think all of us understand ideal customer profile. So accounts which really fit your ICP, and within that, who's in the market. No, it's okay. It's okay if they are your ICP, but are they actually looking for solutions right now, right? So that's the things like that, things with respect to what tactics should you use. What is it that what you call, what is it that people will actually respond to, and very importantly, when should sales engage. Okay, so these are the things that we'll try and find out. I'm going to be sharing some of my experiences. Let me just check if there's any. Okay, all good. I was just checking if there anything with respect to the yeah, this audio quality. Okay, great. Okay, so now now we're going to be talking about the research. Right now, most CRM and automation tools, I think all of you would be using some kind of a CRM. It could be something like Zoho CRM, or something or a tool called Apollo, for Apollo.io, which we tend to use a lot. Right, most CRM offer a set of signals. Okay, so signals basically is how you would make your target database, right? So if you have any previous interaction with the audience, these are the kind of signals which will help you to carve out, okay, that's okay, this is a set of people you want to really go after. Or what we call the ICP attribute filters, which is things like total years of experience. So if you are, for example, trying to promote HR analytics package, then you would want to talk to a senior people in HR. That's what I mean by total years of experience, or time in the current role, right? So, for example, if someone is new to a company, that's when they actually talk about try and get in new vendors, basically new ideas. Okay, a very important one, technology, which is a lot of the times just the tech stack of the company makes it a good or a bad prospect. Now all of these are, I'm not going to be discussing this because this is something which is there. Okay, I mean, this has been there for the last couple of years. There is the capability to carve out an audience based on these audience interaction filters, this left hand side what you see, or the attribute filters. So this is there. Now what the thing is this, and this is where I'm going to be introducing Gen AI, right? Which is custom databases of accounts work out a lot better than standard CRM tool generated databases. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you're trying to sell inventory management software, right, and to e-commerce companies, right, and you want to reach out to a certain kind of e-commerce companies in the fashion brand, which are stocking like a fast moving fashion product. I'm just giving an example, like from your experience, that these people who are stocking this kind of a product, they could be if they are small and if they are growing, and this could be the right time to pitch an inventory management software to them, right? That is your insight. That is what is going to prompt, that is what is going to help you make this custom database, which is really suited to your product, and which is suited to your previous experience, and which is suited to the kind of previous clients that you have. That when you talk to these kind of clients, you are likely to you're likely to win, right? So that's what you mean by custom database. So that's what Gen AI allows you to do quite conveniently. Okay. So when you're using any of the GPTs, you look at it as your productivity enhancing assist, right? So when you want to do stuff outside your CRM, like within the CRM, yes, you have your CRM filters, we spoke of some of them. You can, but if you want to do research outside the CRM, this is where GPT can really help you. Okay, so let me at the outset say, and this is something which we struggle with initially, right? That most LLMs have limited browsing and data passing functionality, right? So, in the e-commerce example that I took, you can't, and when I say most LLMs, I'm talking about free. Most free, and yes, actually, it free and paid both have limited browsing and data. So you can't tell, for example, chat gpt that here's a list of 5,000 websites, e-commerce websites, please go and find out if they are stocking this particular product. That is not what LLMs is all about. You would require some other tool, some data passing, some data scraping kind of a tool to help you do that, and then you give that information to a LLM, right? So this is when I say limited. Let me give you an example. So for example, I hope you can see my screen. What I mean is that the text on my screen, right? So you can, for example, assume that, suppose you wanted to reach out to, as a software services company, you wanted to reach out to product companies who have a loan financing module, right? So you wanted to reach out to insurance product companies which have a loan insurance agency managing product companies which have a loan financing module. Now you can and first, by the way, this feature is best in Gemini, right? So in Gemini, you can give a few websites. You can say 10, 15, 20 websites, and you can say, okay, please go and browse this and see if this module is present. And that's what you can look at this interaction. We have actually said at which companies have the loan financing module, and it will give you the output. Okay, but this is, so you can see based on that it is saying, okay, these web, and what it has done, it has gone to this website. So the input that we have given is the website URLs. So this Gemini has actually gone and it has passed that information, and it has found out which websites have this particular section of loan financing module, right? But this is for like 10 companies, 15 companies, 20. After that, you can't use that. You know, so that's when you would require a combination of GPT plus some data scraping. Okay, now if you're not familiar with data scraping and data parsing techniques, so there are some tools. There is for example, there is a tool called Octopus, which you use if you know someone who is good with Python. This is really easy to do in Python. If you're familiar with how coding can be done, code can be generated using chat, any of the GPTs. You can in fact generate this data parsing code in Python, right, from GPT, right? So it's a combination of the data parsing and GPT, which will help you to reach out to, which will help you to make this custom database. So here's an example. Like this one I already took, a logistics software company, but this is another example, right? You want to HRMS tool, because of some experience and some features, it says, okay, companies who are hiring for more than 5 resources in the last 3 months on Indeed.com, which is a recruitment portal, right? So from their experience, the kind of recruiters, maybe the recruiters on Indeed are more global. That is their logic. There is, if you're in the business for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you have a logic. You kind of know that this particular data source is something which will work. Okay, and you have to use that domain knowledge. You have to use that insight, when you are making that custom list. Okay, so yeah, so that's I think this is, if you can make this custom database, a lot of the response issues get solved. Okay, the thing is, when we talk about these typical filters which are there, remember, a lot of other companies are using the same filters. So there could be some other CRM company, some other IT services company, which is using the same logic with respect to time in current role and total years of experience, and they are literally talking to the same people, right? Whereas if you make your own custom database, your chances of your response really improved. Okay, so that was accounts. Okay, so that you first have to look at accounts. So this is one way in which you can come up with that custom list of accounts. Then we are talking about now leads. Okay, so you've generated that custom list of accounts. Okay, then you have taken it back to your CRM, and then you have started to do the outreach, and then you have some information. Suppose you did an event, or you have people who are responding, then you get some signals from that custom database. Now if you have like some 100 people who have been responding, who have shown sub signals of response with respect to this custom database, how do you like manually, you can't go through the profiles, LinkedIn profiles of these 100 people. Again, this is where surprisingly, I mean, not surprisingly, it's a very simple prompt, right? So you can just say that, you can give the LinkedIn URLs and say summarize, and this is up to you, like what do you want. Like one is these 100 prospects, just you can just say summarize in a couple of lines, or you can ask, okay, do they have if you're looking at inventory management, and you can say, uh, do they have a certain maybe certification, or are they from a certain kind of college, or are they so you can use your previous insight to arrive at, to query those 100 people and ask GPT to really summarize. So you can then, so GPT is, like I said it right at the outset, GPT is your assistant, right? So, and then it gives you this information, and then manually you have to look at it and then decide, okay, out of these 100 people, these 6 or 7 look really suited, based on this summary which GPT has given, right? So yes, so are there any Are there any questions? All okay? I mean, can please feel free to ask any questions that you have. Okay, so let's proceed. We've really experimented with GPT, right? And so yes, there is Chat GPT, there is Gemini, there is Claude, and there is also a Bing. The version of GPT which is in the Bing browser has, and this is Microsoft's way of confusing people, right? So yeah, you find that what you get in Bing is a little different, and they keep on changing it. It's like it's as if they're playing a game and they're trying to see what are people responding to, and what's working, what's going to be popular, things like. But here's the if I were to summarize, what if you are in B2B sales or B2B digital marketing, how should you look at these GPT tools? Okay, so the first thing to note is the one which is most connected to the internet, right? If you do just a few slides back, I told you that Gemini is the most advanced when it comes to, like, you can actually give URLs to Gemini and ask it to browse and check if there is something there, or you can ask it to read a limited set of URLs. Gemini will, of course, if you're looking at it, can understand a YouTube video, for example. Yeah. So that's, if you have any task like that, and in a limited functionality, where you want to get connected to the web, so then yes, Gemini is the answer. If you're looking at images, okay, if you want to use images as your prompting method, and I'm going to be showing a very interesting example, like in the next 7 or 8 minutes, with respect to how you can do it, then Gemini is an option, and Bing. Interestingly, Bing is the one which does a very good job with respect to reading images, right? If there is a PDF, and it happens all the time, right? So if you are in you found a good research paper, and you want to give that PDF to GPT and ask it to summarize it or draw the insights from there, then Claude, which is by the way, when it comes to taking voluminous information, Claude is the best, right? So for tasks like that, PDF then the answer is Claude. Okay, everyone kind of has the personal favorite. So for example, me, I've started spending a lot of time with Claude. Like across B2B, I mean, across tasks, I'm seeing that Claude is giving me good results. But it depends on your individual category, right? So you could, for example, be seeing that maybe in something like HR, GPT is giving you better answers. In maybe inventory management, e-commerce, maybe Gemini is giving you better answers. So you kind of have to find, what is what's really going to be your daily fix, right, with respect to uh, GPT, right? So that's and this, if you come across some specialized tasks, like I said, images, PDF, that's when you go, just like right now, Gemini, some of you may be knowing, it's called the multimodal GPT. So it can take in a lot of different kinds of data, like images, like, for example, right? So then you go to Gemini. So okay, you'll find a lot of information. You'll find a lot of people talking about some exciting GPT enabled tools, and you should always check, before signing up, if it is a wrapper AI tool. What and I kind of you can see the post which I did a few days back, because a kind of one of the tools that was being spoken about, I just said that, hey, whatever is being done can be done by Claude for free, right? So whereas this tool is just a wrapper around it. Of course, they'll try and make it very easy to use it, like more like easier than Claude, right? But at the end of the day, they're just doing the same thing, right? So definitely do a double check before you sign up for such tools, right? Okay, so yeah, this was about research, right? So what I've done in this deck is that I have first taken research, researching accounts. So we looked at some, like a, you could say, a hack to do that, to make a custom database. Then we looked at researching on the leads. Again, how do you use Gen AI outside your CRM to come up with your set of target leads? And we spoke about, GPT versus Gemini versus Claude versus Bing. Who's the best, and what kind of tasks should, lead you to what kind of GPT, right? So moving on to content, I really feel the need to answer some questions right now. It's been a bit silent. Okay. Okay. I'm seeing some questions with respect to when should you use custom databases, and when should you use CRM database? Okay. See, this is not a this is not a it's not this or this. It's a combination. So you would always use you would always use the filters which are there in the CRM to generate like a broad list of accounts that you have to go after, right? So you would do that. You would do outreach to those. But what we are talking about is, how do you make those custom databases, those really narrow audiences, after which have the maximum propensity, or to respond to you. That's really what you're talking about, right? And for doing that, GPT is a great assistant. That's the point I was making. So yes, you would use those broad filters also, and do marketing, and you would use these custom filters to come up with your narrow audience.
Hello. There is one more question. Gaurav is asking for.
Okay, is there a question which is
I think he wants the talk access. I will give. Okay, Gaurav, you can talk now. You can. I think you have the access. You can talk.
Yeah, sure. Gaurav, please go ahead.
I think Gaurav, you are on mute. Yeah, you can talk. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, Gaurav,
Yeah.
you're audible. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I'm like really sorry I joined in late because I was in my office and I was attending a meeting. And then
Yeah.
when I tried to join, then I saw it's a Zoho webinar. So I installed the app and tried to join. So regarding, like this section, that is
Yeah.
generative AI in content generation. So the thing is that, like I have been a marketer for the last 8 years. And right now I also like I have started my startup in this sector only. The
Okay.
problem is that like I follow SEO very closely, and like the Google algorithm updates very closely. Now,
Yeah.
last year Google had no problem with AI content as long as it was maintaining all its parameters of quality and EAT and all the basic SEO parameters it was maintaining. But
Yeah.
in March 2024, like last month only, Google has released an update that says in its March algorithm update has said that if anyone is using AI to create content at scale, then if Google identifies that, it will be penalized by 40%. And they have not cleared like what will be it in terms of ranking penalty or what kind of penalty it will be. But this is the biggest penalty in the history of Google, and like they have mentioned that if anyone is using AI to create content at scale. Now, what does this mean? Does this totally is a war against AI generated content, or it is like against content that does not attend to Google's quality parameters, or like what is they are actually trying to mean? Does this mean that all the apps or all the like AI tools that are used to generate content, which is actually not very good because finally we have to edit and humanize them and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in and all. So the thing is that what is actually they are trying to say and what is the implication
Sure.
of this? Can you please
Sure.
explain?
Sure. Gaurav, it's a great question. If you don't mind, can you wait for like 4 or 5 minutes? I'm actually going to be going into those slides in just like but I'll definitely answer that
And
question.
like for
Yeah.
you as the co-host, I have a question that since I missed the first part, so like can I have a recording of this session or
Yeah, yeah,
like
absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do
okay,
that.
that
We'll be in
thank
touch.
you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. No problem. Okay. Great. Okay. So I'll come to that SEO bit in just like 6 or 7 minutes. And I think we are going to be running like I need 15 more minutes. It just looks like I might require 15 more minutes. Okay, so I'm starting with this with respect to this slide, because there is a lot of information and tools which is okay. you can do a lot of content using GPT, right? You can make audio, video, text, you can make carousel. In fact, I'll be talking about carousels. But that decision of which content to make, that is a very crucial decision. And if you need to have a priority for that, because if you set, there is a limitation of budget, there's a limitation of effort. But if you set going in the wrong, you going the wrong direction, right? So then you're losing time. Okay, so here are some and this is basically the thing here is that you may have content which has a lot of likes, views, but is the content really getting people to move towards the product? Is it getting people to change their habits? I mean, changing habits is a big thing, but changing the way they are going about things, is it getting people to move towards that? So because especially if you are in software, that is important, right? So the good content in the eyes of social media, which is likes, comments, etc., right, is not necessarily good for marketing. Okay, that's the point. And here are some ideas with the kind of content which you need to be making as a priority. And please note, I've given sources wherever I have taken inspiration. I've taken a few slides also from some of the webinars that I've attended, right? So I've mentioned the sources. Yeah. So one of the, and I'm doing this because if you know this, then you can prompt GPT in that manner. So for example, one of the content which you should be doing is the content which will help people diagnose or assess. Okay, because it goes back to that whole point that we made about that people are really spending, especially in IT, people are really spending a lot of time researching on by themselves before they come out in the open and say, okay, I have a requirement, and they start doing demos, right? So in that context, when in that research phase, if you allow them to assess themselves, it's going to go a long way out, right? So you can see this IQ maturity assessment, and these are typical assessments or forms that which that's the kind of content that I'm talking about. You would find a software finder section on our site. It's our way of developing this kind of content, because in this we are basically, and you can please, all of you feel free to go and just give us feedback on this, right? You can just go and choose any of the B2B softwares and answer a few questions, and it will help you shortlist based on your use case and based on the AI features that you want. And I do believe that we've done a good job with respect to this. It's more intuitive than the other software comparisons that you find elsewhere on the web, right? So this is our way of doing this catalyst kind of content. Okay, then the other is called what is called the demand bridge. I mean, this is basically, how do you let's take an example of a project management tool like ClickUp, right? ClickUp is basically a project management tool. Now it can do it can do a blog post on 15 free project management templates. So these are, so basically it's saying, okay, here are some free templates. You don't have to be a paid customer of ClickUp. You can use it, but of course at some point of time you want more advanced features. So what you're doing in this process is that you are supplying, you can say, less advanced techniques, less advanced tools to your consumers. People are lapping it up. And again, this goes back to the whole research thing that we're talking about. People love doing this in their research. People don't want to talk to salespeople. They don't want to respond to messages. It's about doing this kind of content. Again, the prompt here can be, how do you when people are researching, what are the kind of what is the kind of free resources that you can provide, what kind of templates can you provide. So those are kind of prompts that will give you ideas. So I'm not talking about you will see that I'm skipping the information which you generally see on the web. I'm looking at things which can really differentiate your B2B marketing. Yeah. Okay. And the last one is direct capabilities, which is, always, if you're a product company, then talk about capabilities, talk about use cases, right? So you may be basically, if you're a whiteboarding tool, you would have certain use cases of using that. So ask GPT, what is it that people would be most helpful? What are people searching with respect to these use cases? What are the kind of titles that we need to make, right? So yeah, these out of these are the catalyst kind of content, demand bridges. These are the kind of content that should be priority number one, when it comes to B2B content. So people kind of get sometimes misled by, we need to do something creative, we need to, see, I really think creative content is something which happens after this, after you have logically made your point, after you have introduced your product and brand to companies when they are researching, which is the right time to do. After you have done that, then you move to more creative content, right? So yeah, and these two slides, basically I think most of you would be knowing that when you're prompting for content, you have to ask, these are the four parts of the prompt, right? You have to talk about the role, you have to talk about the task, which is the action, and you have to give some context to it, right? So the context would be this, that okay, you have to develop around use cases. So that's the context. The role would be that okay, you are you are an assistant to me, and you are my expert content marketing person. It's good to break down your GPT prompt in this manner, so that you get the optimum output. Yeah. Okay. Another interesting thing is that if you can use your own, like you have a lot of CRM data, if you can feed that into an LLM, okay, so and you can, maybe for this you'll have to go for a paid version, right? So you say, okay, this is all my okay, these are my top 100 prospects. Basically, this is the employee size, industry, names of companies, URLs, etc. Do why don't, and ask it to do ideal customer profile, right? And based on that, then you start prompting. Okay, then you say, okay, write me the best email, write me the best blog post, write me this. I mean, I have not tried this, but I came across this gentleman called Christopher Penn on LinkedIn. You can look him up, and if you follow him, you'll get some of these really new ideas. The name is Christopher Penn, Penn, right? So what you have done is you have given your own data, and then based on that, you're saying, okay, I need help in talking to this data. Why don't you give me this? Why don't you give me that? Right? It's very innovative, this kind of thing. Okay, so let me. Sorry, I was trying to answer Gaurav's question. Okay, now he himself spoke about humanizing AI content. Okay, so the thing is, what you see here is there are new tools in the market now, which is GPT, for example, there's a GPT zero dot me, which tells you what percentage of your content is AI generated, and that's what Gaurav was talking about, right? That if your content looks like fully automated, fully AI generated, then it's not going to make it. Okay, you would and you will see that Gaurav was alluding to that maybe previously it was working, but now it is not. And it is it's not just AI. Any kind of automated content creation, Google and other search engines have always been saying you can't do that. You're like you're fooling the audience, right? So, but it's the uh, you will always see that these things take time to implement. So some of these will you may see that you're ranking initially, but then you're not ranked, right? So you have to take the effort to humanize it. Now when you say humanize, these are some of the things. Okay, you can ask GPT to avoid using cliched words, whatever is there, whatever you found in your content which is generated from GPT. You can ask it to use more of facts. You can make custom images. See, when you anything which is unique is going to give a signal to the tool that this is different from the rest of the content on this, right? So if you make a custom image, and it has become easy to make a custom image, right? So if it is like if this is a image on so this was basically about the event this was for an online event production company, and this was basically, okay, what are the typical challenges when it comes to online event management, right? So you can make a custom image on, say, just say Zoho versus WebEx versus this. You can just make like a image. You can prompt Canva or any of these to make an image like this. It's a custom image. Okay, internal linking, right? Because if you're internal linking, then there has to be a human would have actually decided, okay, which content to link and all that, right? So embedding tweets, embedding YouTube shorts. So as of now, you AI GPT content is not doing this. They could be doing this very soon. See, guys, the rate at which this is advancing, it is unprecedented, right? It is, I mean, you really have, I mean, as people in digital marketing, and this is what, we have training sessions every day in the morning, we have to be absolutely paranoid about this, otherwise we will not be on top of things, right? And you have, like, for us it is, you have to be on top of things, otherwise, because clients expect that from us, right? But even on the client side, I think basically, you should be cognizant of the fact that these things are changing rapidly, right? So the point here was, if you do things like embedding tweets, which is not done by AI right now, you are going to be crossing that bar with respect to AI generate, right? So Gaurav, yeah, that was the answer to your question, which is, automated content has always been a issue, but then if you use all these things, then yes, you will cross that bar. There is a tool called humanize.ai, that AI which we came across, which helped us to interestingly, we use a tool to humanize a AI generated tool, and this, yeah, it gave us good results, so anything which is conversational, which has all these kinds of things, that's what is going to help you cross the bar. So the definitely use AI, but always spend like some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes on each of these to humanize. Okay, so I'm going to be like, we're going to be sending this in any case to all of you. So I'm going to be skipping a few slides in the interest of time. So using image prompting, right? This is something which I find. I mean, this is, if you ask me, this is like my favorite. I mean, this is when I saw this, I was like shocked. I said, "Wow, this is something which you can really use," and this is the thing, right? So as it's really like the bridge between the product guys and the digital sales or digital marketing guys, so basically the product guys are the guys who are always dealing with the checklists, I'm talking of a typical product company, right? If So the product guys are dealing with the reports, they're dealing with checklists, they're dealing with spec sheets. In a manufacturing kind of setup, it would be checklists, there would be spec sheets. Now if you have to incorporate that in some manner in your marketing, in your PR, is there a way to do that? Yes, right. There is. I just want to show you. So what we did was, this is basically, I know this resolution is very bad, but this is, I just took a screenshot from the prompting that we did, right? So this is a state-wise contribution, right? Kind of a report. This is from a product which helps businesses manage their e-commerce across marketplaces. So this was a report which is the top cities in which the product is sold, right? Now what we did, and this by the way is with Gemini. So this is more because Gemini is more multimodal, right? So we use Gemini. So what we did is, okay, we just started with a simple question: what is the main pain point that such a report solves? And oh, sorry, it is not Gemini, it is Bing Copilot, right? And I did mention to you that Copilot is in fact better than Gemini. Copilot slash Bing, it's the same thing. Is better than Gemini, right? So if I asked this and it gave me this, okay, this report is solving this pain point. And I was like, wow, that's it. If it can read an image, and the resolution has to be good. If it can read an image, and if it can give you this, then you can start chatting. You are no, okay, it's understanding the report, right? You can ask other things around it, right? Then I was kind of playing around with, I said, okay, make a LinkedIn post about this, start with a typical scenario of a life of an Indian e-commerce seller, and end with some humor. Okay, so you can see that it's trying to put some humor, but the humor, what was really surprising to me, that in the LinkedIn post it understood the report, and it said analyzing statewise contributions, whatever, right? So it's understood that the day-to-day life of an e-commerce seller is about reading these reports. It's understood what this report is all about, and it's very, in a very subtle way, it has introduced that point in your LinkedIn post, right? So and this is, I'm telling you guys, this is a game changer, right? I mean, if there was one thing in all of the slides that I'm going to be covering, I think this is my favorite, because you think about manufacturing companies who have checklists, and the marketing is trying to communicate to the world that we are a very process driven company, and how do you get that in your market, right? All software product companies having a lot of reporting tools. How do you communicate to the world in an interesting manner? See, that's the challenge between product and marketing, right? So product companies, product guys are like, okay, this is what the product is, this is what the reports are, and the marketing folks are like, but we need to communicate this in a manner which is light, and still make the point. It's a first touch with the prospect. So that's this kind of image based prompting saves time, and helps you with this kind of this thing, right? Okay. Yeah. So SEO is still going to be around. I mean, the only change that it's become. See, as of now, all the LLMs are really hungry for content. Okay, so whatever content you make, people always talk about repurposing and being present across it's all sites, etc. It's become even more important, right? So which means you have to be on the same content has to be on Reddit, LinkedIn. You can repurpose it a bit. It doesn't matter. You can have the same content. Just be present on multiple forums, multiple blogs. And remember, because right now the LLMs are still like just going to all the sources and picking up content. Okay, and so the SEO is still going to be around. Yes, people are going to be using more and more of LLM, but if you want to figure in that LLM response, so then you have to be present across the web as of now. Okay, as of now, that's the thing. And make sure that you have your brand mentioned in a very subtle way, because otherwise, your content is just going to like contribute to someone else's success. Like it's just going to be a response in a bigger answer, but your brand is not mentioned. Yeah. So yeah, so that's okay. I'm just very quickly like there's some things which it's very easy to do. So making a carousel from creative copies. Okay, you can. It's very easy to do that. So you can go to GPT, create the copies, go to Canva, select a template, and you can basically connect your images to that content, and you can get the final output, right? So you can have all the content in a Excel, and if you have all the images, you can just combine them in Canva, and you can have a carousel. And carousel, because we all know that a carousel is one of the more engaging format on LinkedIn. Yeah. Prompt based videos. So I'm going to be like, this is an example where I wanted to. Okay, I'm going to be playing a few videos here. Just a moment. Okay. So yeah, so this I wanted to actually give you a. So what we'll do is let me just okay, just a minute. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm just seeing. Okay, what we'll do is we'll cover the content part. Okay, and the analytics part is something which maybe so I know that we will anyways cover it. I understand you some of you may not be able to wait for that, but please be assured that you will get these slides, to get this recording. And Aniket is also going to put in the link of the LinkedIn community, so you can yeah. So okay, so I'll continue. So I wanted to show you the kind of output that you can expect. Right now, this is a prompt where you basically, this is for that online event production company, and as you can see the simple prompt that was given. Basically, do a 1-minute video talking about the typical challenges faced in planning an event, etc. So the tool is in video. It will ask you a few things with respect to the audience. You can actually edit the video scenes based on it will give you a script, right? And you can edit that script, and you can also edit the keywords that are being used to get the images. And so with this kind of a prompt, basically challenges, just like you can see, just like 3 lines, right? Challenges faced in planning an event. I'm going to be playing this for you so you get an idea. Just a minute. Okay, so this is the video audible, Aniket?
No, sir, I can't
What? what I
audio.
just played?
No, sir, the audio is not visible.
The audio is not visible. Is not okay. I will. Okay. I don't know what is the. I'm just going to be putting. Aniket, you can see my PPT.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So yeah, I have put the output of the prompt. Okay. So you can see that it is it's pretty good. Basically just by of 3 or 4 lines, it is actually giving a video on the challenges that an online event production like challenges faced by companies when they are doing online events. So this is the big, of course this is the first version, right? But it will take you like 20-30 minutes to come up, to change those scenes, to say okay, you want different kind of media, and you have a decent video in 30. Okay. What in typical B2B scenarios, there are some other things, some other kinds of videos. One is what you call the fiction. Okay, let me start with this. The AI avatar videos. I hope this is something which you can see. Niket, can you hear this?
No, sir, the video is visible, audio isn't.
Okay, so okay, we are facing tech challenges ourselves. We are talking about online event production companies. Okay, so you can see the kind of video which is being generated. You can see that there are reports in between, and then there is the AI avatar. So this is done using HeyGen and DID. This is an example of the avatar of an actual person in the company, right? And you can see the output. Yeah, so it's quite good, right? So this is just what we required for this, is just like a good image, and using these kind of tools you can make a video of this quality of, say, the top management. So you just see how like especially this technology, it's the kind of impact that this can have, right? So if your top management does not have the time, right, you can literally ask them to give a few high resolution images in certain poses, looking in certain directions, and you can make a lot of videos, and they need not be around, right? When you're making the video, I mean, the most expensive cost to a company is the top, when it comes to the employees, is the top management time, right? So this definitely, look at these tools and see how you can use them in your video marketing. And then these are the prompt driven videos, which I gave you an example of the output. Okay. So, okay, now we have moved from research, and we moved to content, and we are now looking at, there are certain examples with respect to which content you should make, and, how can you make good video content, how does image prompting really work, so by doing that, people will come to your site, and they will start interacting with the website. And that's where some of these slides and some of these examples that I'm taking, that's the context. So people have come to your site, and customer support, right, which is using now chatbots didn't take off 2 years back, 3 years back. But what is happening right now is that there are products in the chatbots in the market which can answer, like you can see, like, how does this example, how does this ClickUp handle time tracking? Now, for answering this question, there is no single, you can't feed the answer to that. It's a little ambiguous question. So for that, it has to look at all the pages on your website and then craft an answer. So this is the level at which you can do customer service, and it is see, customer service is not is a little loosely termed word. Even if a prospect comes to your site, same level of technology, same level of responsiveness is available for the prospect also, and that's going to help, of course, are going to help in getting them to leads and closures, right? So definitely look at how you can use this kind of AI generated chatbots. Some of the, if you are a company which is doing a lot of demo calls and prospect calls, use, that's a wealth of information. So all you need to do is transcribe that and see how it can add to your help center, right? So if you have a help center, help section, FAQ, all the typical questions that are getting asked in a demo call, in interaction with prospect, in interactions with email interaction prospect, right? Those using Gen AI, you can distill those into like every week you can make additions to your help center, and imagine the kind of how new and how updated your help center and FAQ will be if you are doing this kind of translation from live customer calls to directly into the help section or the FAQ section. Okay, these are the last two topics. One is lead score, and I wanted to cover something around analytics. So lead score is one of the, I mean, this is not really Gen AI, but I mean, all of us know what lead score is. It's basically the probability of a lead in your CRM, which is and of getting converted, and which is really the metric which a salesperson looks and says, okay, yes, I'm going to now start knocking on their doors more often, right? So the Gen AI is really going to have a footprint here, because if you look at the kind of attributes here, okay, which get imbibed into the lead score, very soon this metric is going to be more wholesome, right? It's going to be looking at the interactions with the prospect. It is going to look at whether the prospect has spent time on the website. So a lot of things are going to get into this lead score. That's why I said it's as of now not Gen AI, but very soon you'll see that this is getting fed by Gen AI. Okay. And yes, this any CRM will have this. I mean, it's called probability here, but sometimes it's called lead score. And the thing here is that you can decide the weightages of all these. That you can say that, okay, if there is a phone number, then increase the lead score by 10%. If there is a source mention, if the source is search engine, then increase it by 15%. So you can decide what your sales team is seeing here, and based on that your sales team can decide whether to go after. And this goes into the first things that we spoke about. The AI is lighting up the path, right? AI is saying, okay, it's telling your sales team, yes, this is the person you need to go after. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And this is the last one, which is so there are these heat map and what you call session recording tools. Clarity is one of them. And what it does is, today you can actually, first of all, you can view the actual interactions of users or visitors on the site, right? So you can, I'm not going to be clicking on this right now, but you can actually view it and see how people are moving from page to page. When did they actually start filling up a form? And the cool thing now is that Gen AI is generating these summaries for you, right? So it is telling you that, okay, this person entered the text but did not submit. So it's become easier for you to like go through all these insights. And if you can go through this regularly, this is going to give you inputs with respect to, yes, that this is, it seems that people are having a problem filling the form, or it seems that people are going back and forth when it comes to certain sections. Maybe they're not happy with what they're seeing there, right? So looking at this, you can then decide what are the changes that you need to do on the website layout or content, right? Okay, so that's what I had. I'm yeah. So there's a question: is clarity like Google Analytics? So Google Analytics is more about what people are doing on the site. Yes, you get to see the traffic trend, with the pages viewed and etc. But Clarity is, by the way, it's a free tool. Microsoft Clarity is a free tool, which is all about video recordings of the users on your website. So actually visually seeing how people have clicked and gone from page A to page B, and it's actually seeing a heat map that, okay, on this page, I don't have a visual for that, but basically it's saying that on this page, this is the top left part is where people were clicking the most, and then people scroll down and they went to this part, right? So that's the kind of difference between Clarity and Google Analytics does not have these kind of features, right? So this is, and by the way, this is highly recommended. If you don't have it, please install it right now. It's free, and it gives you some of these very cool insights, which can ultimately, see, analytics is about taking actions, right? It gives you things by which you can take action on your website. Yeah. So as you can see, those of you who have not left so far, I have stuck to my promise of finishing by 6:15.
Hi, Gaurav here again. I have
Yeah.
some questions actually. So,
Yeah. Please go ahead.
okay. So, number one question here is that, we've seen that mostly in the field of B2B marketing, that the most of the innovations that have happened over the last few decades and all have mostly happened in the analytics sector. Okay, like in the analytics part of B2B marketing, like lead generation, like how people interact, their behavioral analytics, all these trends and all sorts. So, do you think like apart from analytics and content, the other one is content, okay, like creating content and how to do. So, do you think that apart from this, there is any other sector in like B2B marketing? For example, I'm telling you that say say a product company, a software product company, now before it starts like its market research or like before it goes into marketing, and also maybe it hires an agency, it does not know what kind of strategies will work out, what kind of like things will work out. Maybe research plays a very important role in that, but there's still a lot of trial and error going on,
Yeah.
okay, like in those phases. Okay, so there's nothing like that okay, when it's a company that creates personal computer, for it this thing will work. When it's a company that creates chips, for it this thing will work. Okay, so these kinds of things are not there. But before it, like I said, that the research part, for that there has been innovation, and after it, for content there has been innovation, and the results part, analytics, there has been innovation. So do you think that there are some possibilities in this phase, that is like how to decide, how to predict which kind of strategies will work, which kind of marketing thing? Is there any innovation possible in these cases?
Right.
Like,
You see, yeah. See, the core of this is that B2B marketing is complex. Okay, and you have to maximize your chances by following all the best practices, like so. See, the best practices remain the same, with respect to how you should do broad audiences, narrow audiences. But now, because of all these tools, it's becoming easier to find your best prospect. It's becoming easier to I think you were not there in the first part when I was doing research. It has really become easy to research on make a custom database outside your CRM. Yeah, so I would answer that by saying that the areas are the same. I would say the most underutilized areas within B2B marketing are is research, like what you do before you start doing the content and the outreach, and the analytics, which is like what you're seeing on the screen right now. Those are the ones which people should spend more time on it, but people don't, and I would end that by saying that the areas are the same, but the because of the tools, it's becoming less time consuming to do exactly what you want, right? Okay, so are there any other questions?
right, and like one more,
Yeah,
is
sure.
that like the thing is that right now there is a like contentious struggle going on between, like say paid advertising, like paid marketing strategies, like advertising and all, and organic marketing strategies, right? And
Mhm.
like the thing is that and again, like there is a lot of confusion which path to take, because some of it gives you a huge return, and also like, but then it drains your bank, and the other one maybe gives you a lot of customer loyalty and advocacy, but then it takes a long time, and it like there's also there's no like say a guaranteed return, right? So the thing is that I have seen that there are lots of platforms and social media which are like also like saying that they will offer subscription for customers to stop ads, like they don't want to see ads anymore, they might be frustrated. So where is this heading, and like how could this possibly be solved by AI and automation? Like,
Sorry, Gaurav, you were. I didn't. I was trying to look if there are any more questions. Sorry. So you're talking about what kind of tools exactly?
like I'm not exactly talking about tools. I'm saying that like when it comes to paid marketing strategies,
Okay.
yeah, so there are platforms like social media platforms which are actually ad platforms, like say Meta and
Yeah.
Instagram. Okay, these type of platforms are also offering their customers the option to go adless by taking a subscription. Okay,
Huh. Okay. Yeah. So as a
so
consumer, you can pay like Twitter, right? Yeah. You
yeah,
can.
and
Yeah.
not see any ads. Okay, so
Yeah.
when this happens, So a lot of our marketing, say area as a B2B marketer, a lot of our chances of going to directly to customers through paid advertisement, it's getting skewed, it's getting
Yeah,
narrowed.
but
So,
I don't see that as really catching up. I think these social platforms, the main ones, have not done that yet.
right, right,
So I don't see that catching up at all, because these guys really thrive on advertising, and it will be a
exactly.
very, yeah,
Like
it will
from
be a
search
very,
engines like Google to everyone, like everyone is having
yeah.
a huge chunk of revenue in ads.
From and it's the behavior, it's just like games. It's very difficult to get people to pay for games. So that's why, because they're just used to playing free games. Similarly, people are just used to just like using social media for free. So and as long as the ads are not really like too obtrusive, they're fine.
Okay, so like
Yeah,
that was my like question, that if it is getting inclined more towards say organic marketing methods, then what, how will the like AI and automation help us there, like, or it is still, because if ads are being shown and all, then again if we are using behavioral analytics and trying to assess which kind of customer wants to see which kind of ads, then do you
yeah.
think that AI and automation will also make some progress there and help us in doing that kind of prediction?
Yeah, so see, as if it moves towards that kind of see, the AI technology will follow what is the best spec, right? What is being done. So yes, in fact, I didn't cover those slides. There are tools which will actually help advertisers with a lot of things with respect to their paid ads management. Which is I'm forgetting the name of the tool, but there are tools in the market which will actually help you assess the creative quality of your ads which are running. Okay, like, and how much of the, what you call, brand compliance are those ads having. How much of readability is there with respect to paid ads. So yes, AI, if that becomes like a like a thing, and people people are getting into this, then the tools will accordingly match to what is being said. Okay, okay, so great. Thank you, everyone, and hope we've been successful in helping you understand how you can really take the first steps with respect to Gen AI and your B2B sales. We would be doing this every 2 or 3 weeks. When I said this, I'm talking about taking up Gen AI topics with respect to B2B marketing. So I do hope to see you again very soon. And yes, thank you for your time, and let's be in touch. Thank you.